and Fani, you know, Fani spelled F-A-N-I. My name is Fani, F-A-N-I. I don't figure it. She put a little French accent on the word with her lover Wade, right? Lover Wade, we call him, lover boy Wade. She hired and paid him almost $1 million because of his great knowledge of the law. He never did it before. With us today is Daniel Campos, a pilot in Venezuela who now lives in Pennsylvania. Great gentleman. Daniel came to tell us what you think of Kamala Harris leading our country into socialism. We're being led into socialism, but the socialism will be short-lived. It's going into communism. If you would have told me, and if you remember many times during State of the Union, I would say, we will never have a socialist country, and everybody would applaud. But I was right, because we're really, I think, skipping socialism. We're going into communism. When they weaponize our government like this, that's what they do in third world countries. That's what they do in South American horror shows. That's what they do in banana republics. They've weaponized it, but I believe ours is even more corrupt. The New York court system is totally corrupt. They use the state and the city to go after me. They take top people in the Department of Justice and put them in the Attorney General. Letitia James, she campaigned on, I will get Trump. And they then go there, and then they go into the Manhattan DA's office. They use Hillary Clinton's lawyer and the Democrats' law firm to leave the firm and go into the DA's office in order to prosecute Donald Trump, free of charge. They're not going to charge. Then he writes a book. This guy writes a book before the thing even went anywhere. And in the book, he said, I do it for free. It's so great. These are corrupt people, and we have to call them out. So remember the term, playing the ref with our judges and our justices should be punishable by very serious fines and beyond that. But I'd like to ask, because we're into that whole system, and I'd like to call up Daniel. Please come up and tell us about your experience in living in a country that went very, very bad, went radical left, and the experience has not been good. Please come up. Thank you. Hi, Daniel.
All right. First of all, hi everybody. Thank you for coming here and supporting the president. I'm gonna say the first part of the speech, well, of my story in English, then I'm gonna repeat it in Spanish in order to allow our Latino voters to understand and hear what the situation is going on. First of all, as the president already said, I'm from Venezuela. I left the country in 2007 because of communism. I still have family there. There's been family that left that has left even before me or continues living little by little. But going further back, my grandparents from my mom's side were from Cuba. They were at university when the communist revolution was going on.
A communist known as Kamala Harris is a communist. Most radical left person ever to run for office. This is not what this country needs. We've had enough of them. We're going to win back the White House, and we're going to take back our country. Kamala Harris is a super left liberal who ruined San Francisco, ruined California, and delivered a badly broken economy, a badly broken border, which gave us a dangerous world of chaos, death, and destruction. Just take a look at what's happening today. We were a respected country. Now the whole world laughs at us. We're a bunch of foolish people to have allowed this to happen, but we're going to bring it back. We're going to bring it back very fast. We'll close up the borders. We'll drill, baby, drill. We're going to do things that are going to be very good. Very good, very fast. It'll happen very quickly. But she breaks everything that she touches. But soon we're going to fix every single problem. Kamala Harris and Joe Biden. Crooked Joe. What happened to Biden? I was running against Biden. All of a sudden I'm running against somebody else. It's true. You know, it's interesting. I said, who am I running against? Harris. I said, who the hell is Harris? You don't know. Who the hell is Harris? You know, she was the first one out last time. She was the first one to lose. And now all of a sudden she's running. She never got a vote. They are a threat to democracy. Remember that. Starting the day I take the oath of office, I will rapidly drive prices down and we will make America affordable again. We're going to make it affordable again. Under Kamala Harris and crooked Joe Biden, the American dream was dead, and it is dead. It's dead as a doornail. They'll never bring it back unless we win. If we win, we're going to have the American dream alive, all for your beautiful children, your grandchildren. We'll have the American dream. We'll be back with us. Her radical liberal policies have caused horrific inflation, decimated the middle class, and gutted the finances of millions of American families. And you know what I'm talking about, because everybody in this room has been devastated by what they've done. They have no idea. They're grossly incompetent people. Real incomes are down by over $2,000 a year. Think of that. Minimum. And ours, up 5 times that amount, more than 5 times that amount. Her price hikes have cost a typical household a total of $28,000, and that's called the Kamala Harris inflation tax. She was there for everything. You know, when she sits and complains, hey, look, Joe Biden hates her, okay? Hates her. You don't mind if I go off teleprompter for a second, do you? Joe Biden hates her. This was an overthrow of a president. This was an overthrow. They went out. You know, I spent $100 million fighting Joe Biden. They told him he couldn't win. His debate performance wasn't the best ever. But they said mine was the best ever. But they said his debate performance wasn't. I look forward to debating her, by the way. She'll be easier. She'll be easier than him. Her policies are so bad. Her policy, remember, her father was a Marxist economic professor. He was a Marxist, an avowed Marxist. This is not what we want in this country. And think of it. Does anyone here feel richer under Kamala Harris and crooked Joe? Is anything less expensive under Kamala Harris or crooked Joe? No. It's been devastating. Inflation has been devastating under this group of people that have no idea what the hell they're doing. Are you better off with Kamala and Biden than you were under President Donald J. Trump? I don't think so. You know, they do polls on this stuff, and I'm at like 93%. I said, so why are we having an election? They didn't have an election. Why are we having an election? How would you like to be Biden? He's working, he's spending money, he's trying. They wanted to have a debate. That's the thing that started it all. You know, if I didn't debate him, he'd still be running right now. But I believe she will be easier to beat than him, because she's a truly radical left lunatic. And with him, he never really believed it. Of course, I don't know if he knew anything. I'm not sure. But he didn't really believe it. She totally believes it. She wants to destroy our country. With 4 more years of Kamala, your finances will never recover. They will only get worse. They're only going to get worse. The stock market, and you have some of the most brilliant people on Wall Street saying this. The stock market is only up because they think I'm going to win. And if we don't win, according to many people, including one of the greatest Wall Street prognosticators, named Scott Bessent. Has anyone heard of him? One of the most brilliant guys on Wall Street. If I don't win, you will have a 1929-style depression. Enjoy it. I believe that. I believe that. I believe it. A lot of people believe it. So we're not going to give them the chance, okay? We're not going to give them. And your state's going to be ruined anyway. She's totally anti-fracking. She's been anti-fracking and anti-drilling, anti-oil and gas from practically the day she was born. All of a sudden, a couple of months ago, she said, oh, I'd love to have fracking. No, she won't have fracking. Vote Trump, and your incomes will soar, your savings will grow, young people will be able to afford a home, and we will bring back the American dream bigger. That we are going to bring it back. Bigger, better. Front row Joe. Bigger, better, and stronger than ever before. We're going to bring it back. Look at all these front row Joes over here. They've only been, you know, we have a couple of groups here. They're at about 222 events. Front row Joe, stand up, wave your hands. You guys are great. Patriots. But I have another group from a place called North Carolina. Has anybody ever heard of North? We love North Carolina. The beautiful ladies over there. This is number, what? 217. So this is number 217. And supposedly, they're happily married. How the hell does that work? Look at them. They're beautiful, and oh, there's a husband. Are you a husband? Who are you married to, husband? Oh, that was a wise choice. Beautiful, very nice. How do you handle it, right? How do you handle it? But they're great women, and they've been with us from the very beginning. They were with us from the beginning in 2016, when we had the 4 greatest years this country has ever had. They were with us then. Thank you very much. North Carolina. We're doing well in North Carolina. Thank you, darling. It's nice to not have to travel to California and other places, right? Yesterday, Kamala laid out her so-called economic plan. She says she's going to lower the cost of food and housing starting on day 1. But day 1 for Kamala was 3.5 years ago. So why didn't she do it then? So this is day 1305. We're at 1305. So why isn't she doing it now? Why doesn't she get away from her nice little place with her wonderful husband, go to Washington and do it now? You could do it right now. Why does she go to the convention? Because it's a rigged convention, obviously. She got no votes. He had 14, you know, Sleepy Joe had 14 million votes. She got no votes. She failed. She was the first one out. She failed. She never got to Iowa. Great state, Iowa. We're going to win it big. The farmers love Trump, and I love the farmers. But she never got to Iowa. She was the first one to quit, and now she's running for president. I don't know. Somebody's going to have to explain our system to our many enemies all around the world. They're watching this saying, this place doesn't make a lot of sense anymore. Everything Kamala Harris says in her speeches is a lie. You know, she gets up and just lies. I was watching her yesterday. She talked about all the taxes I was going to raise. I never said that. I'm lowering taxes. Yesterday, she got up. She started ranting and raving that Donald Trump wants to put a tax on gasoline, a tax on food, a tax on medication, a tax on clothing, a tax on every single thing that was ever invented. Your hat, he's going to tax. Your shirt, he's going to tax. He's going to tax your wife. He's going to tax your husband. And I'm saying, I never said any of that. They make it up. I mean, here's the truth. Kamala wants to put massive taxes on American jobs and American industries. I want to cut taxes on Americans while putting tariffs on China and foreign countries to bring our jobs back home to Pennsylvania and to take in billions and billions of dollars. You know, I'm the only one that ever took in any money from China. China was really hitting us hard, ripping us apart. That means many, many presidents. And what happened is I put a tariff on, then I raised the tariff. We took in hundreds of billions of dollars from China, and Biden can't, it's so much money, he's trying to rescind it for a couple of reasons. Number one, he got a lot of money from China. Got like, didn't he get 3.5 million, 4 million? That they know of. But he got a lot more than that. His family made a lot of money with China. He wants to get rid of the tariff, but he can't because there's so much money they can't do anything with the budget. A tariff is a tax on a foreign country. That's the way it is, whether you like it or not. A lot of people like to say, oh, it's a tax on us. No, no, no. It's a tax on a foreign country. It's a tax on a country that's ripping us off and stealing our jobs. And it's a tax that doesn't affect our country. And you could see hundreds of billions of dollars of tariffs on other countries also. I took in hundreds of billions, and nothing happened to us. They make less money. And you know what? Our jobs come back because there's no tax if they build their factory in Pennsylvania. There's no tax if they build their factory in the United States. So what do? In order to avoid paying the tax, they say, let's build a place over here. No tax. Come on over. We love it. Just hire up people. That's all you have to do. It's very simple. You know, as we speak, and this really goes to Michigan more than you, but I look at Michigan and South Carolina, a lot of other places that do the auto stuff, and they are building some of the biggest auto factories in the world right now in Mexico, right off our border. They think they're going to make cars, not pay any tax, and sell those cars into the United States. Not going to happen. Not with me. They're building some of the biggest auto plants in the world. And you know who owns those auto plants? They're built, they're made, and being built in Mexico. You know who owns them? China owns them. China's very smart. I had a good relationship with President Xi. When COVID came, that was the end of that relationship. But I had a very good relationship. But we took in hundreds of billions of dollars from China. Think of it, Bush, Barack Hussein. Did you ever hear of Barack Hussein Obama? Have you heard of him? There are those that think he is currently running the country. Does anybody think? I don't know. I don't know that that's true. We know it's not Biden. Every attack Kamala makes on us is a fabricated, it's a lie. She's sort of a bad storyteller. She doesn't know how to tell a story very well, but she gets caught. She gets caught up in her own words. She's not a very good wordsmith, they say. I don't know. We're going to find out. We're going to have a debate at some point. They gave me the worst network, to me, is ABC. Worse than NBC, worse than CBS, worse than CNN, the home of George Slopadopoulos, a nasty guy. I said, George, I've had you up to here. So, and he's a nasty guy, the hatred. And yet when he interviews Biden, like 2 weeks ago, he interviewed Biden, it was like the nicest interview. What flavor ice cream do you like? George, I tend to like vanilla very much. With me, they get into a lot of subjects that a lot of people don't like talking about. But ABC's the worst. And that seems because they won't do it on Fox. They've turned down the Fox. You know, I've approved 3 debates. They've approved 1. The only one they've approved was their network. And now it came out in the New York Times, of all places, that the head of the news and the head of the whole thing practically is Kamala and her husband, lovely husband, best friend. Her and her husband are best friends with Kamala and her husband. And I'm supposed to do the debate. But, you know, with Biden, they thought I wouldn't do it. So they offered me something that I couldn't accept. They said, the debate is at CNN in front of no audience. So far, I'm 0 for 2. And see, they didn't want to do the debate. That would have been a good idea if they didn't do it. But I was going to accept anything. And I guess we'll do it here too, right? We'll accept anything, because otherwise she's not going to debate. She doesn't want to debate. But they said CNN and no audience, and we want to have you sit down. I objected to that. They wanted us sitting behind a desk. I said, give me a break. We have to at least stand for the American public. Wouldn't that be nice? So that was the only thing. And I would have done it if they insisted. No, I would have sat down if they insisted, but I thought it was sort of a little strange. But I had Dana Bash and I had Fake Tapper. But I have to tell you, they were very fair. I really thought they were very fair. So Jake and Dana, nobody knows how to say her first name. Is it Dana or Dana? Nobody knows. It's been going on for 20 years. She's been around a long time. Is it Dana or Dana? And now the fake news will say, Trump didn't know how to pronounce her first name. She doesn't know how to pronounce it. But look, but Dana and Jake, I used to call him Fake Tapper. Now I call him Jake Tapper because he treated us very fairly, and so did Dana. Treat me very fairly. I think it was, just about neutral. But he kept saying, he gave very short answers because he wasn't really doing too well. And I kept saying, I'll take it. But what happened? Sir, you have 92 seconds left. This is not what he wanted to hear. Right, David? They said, you have 92 seconds left. Going to be your next senator, I'll tell you. David McConnell. I hope you can vote for him. I hope you vote for him. I hope you vote for him. He's a great gentleman, great hero, actually, in many ways. He's a great guy. But so they gave me this thing, and they assumed I was going to turn it down. So I have the wrong network. I have the wrong anchors. I have no audience. I like an audience. I love people, It's oftentimes a mistake. Everything was wrong. So what we'll do is we'll offer him this thing that he can't accept. He won't accept it. And then we'll say, Trump didn't accept the debate. He's afraid to negotiate against Biden because Biden's so sharp. He's so sharp. He's sharp like a razor. So, but I surprised them. I said, I'll take it. I'll take it. And people said, are you crazy? I said, look, it's the only way you're going to debate. If we do anything else, they're not going to accept it. And these people are the same way. They offered me, we were supposed to have Fox on September 4th, and they said, no, I accepted it. I don't even know what's going to happen because I've accepted it. They haven't. So maybe they show up, maybe they don't. But I think it's sort of on for September 4th, but I don't think they're going to come. And then we go and we do the debate with ABC. ABC, again, I call it ABC fake news. So bad. They're so bad. They're so dishonest, in my opinion, very dishonest people. But I find them to be the worst. And I'm a professional at this, because I watch who treats me the worst. Now, NBC is horrible. CBS is horrible. They're all horrible. These are horrible human beings. But who treats me the worst? ABC fake news treats me the worst. And that's where they want it, where her best friend, it just came out the other day, nobody told anybody about this, is the head of the whole deal, right? But I'll probably say, I'll take it. Because you know what? They're not gonna do a debate. But just remember, these are phony, fake, disgusting people that hate our country. Remember that. And also remember that every attack that we make on Kamala is something that she said on tape or something that she's actually done. All of these attacks are things because she said all of it. She said, I don't want fracking in Pennsylvania. She said it hundreds of times. I don't want it anywhere. Then a couple of months ago, when the polls are showing that she's getting clobbered, well, actually, nobody actually thought they were politically correct. They wanted to be politically correct because they wanted, they had 11 different people, and they put her name in to be number 12, and they had a vote. She came in last. So she picked somebody. Think of it. How about the guy she picked? How bad is he? Right? How bad is that guy? David, where did these people come from? He recently signed a bill in a state that I love, but a state that hasn't been won by a Republican because it's a corrupt state. But the people are not corrupt. The people are great. Since 1972 has it been won. Think of that. And I thought we won it twice. I said, there's no way we lose Minnesota. But he signed a bill for all young men's bathrooms and men's bathrooms have to be equipped with a tampon selling machine. And she turned down your governor. By the way, just so you understand, I know some of you probably like him. I don't think he's a good person. I don't think he's good. I don't think he's good. But they turned him down because he's Jewish, okay? That's why they turned him down. Now, we can be politically correct and not say that. I could say, well, they turned him down for various reasons. No. They turned him down because he's Jewish. That's why they turned him down. And I'll tell you this, any Jewish person that votes for her or a Democrat has to go out and have their head examined. Because if you see what's happening with Israel and Jewish people right now, there has never been a more dangerous time since the Holocaust. If you happen to be Jewish in America, there's never been anything like it. I'm seeing things, I can't even believe it. And we want to bring about unity and peace and everything else. It looks like they're going to have nothing but riots out there in Chicago. It's really a sad thing, but they turned him down for that reason, and they turned him down for a couple of other reasons too, but the primary reason was that he's Jewish. And you don't think I know what goes on in their campaign? I know it well. I know it very well. She's a nation wrecker who is more liberal than crazy Bernie Sanders. You know crazy Bernie? He's pretty bad, right? She is substantially more radicalized than crazy Bernie. You cannot have her as your president. She ruined San Francisco. She ruined the state of California. You know, she was the district attorney and she was the attorney general of the state. I heard the other day, and this isn't anything, I'm just saying, they'll say he was rambling. I don't ramble. I'm a really smart guy, really smart. I don't ramble. But the other day, anytime I hit too hard, they say he was rambling. Rambling? You know, I get up and I make a speech. I go for sometimes 2 hours, 2.5 hours, because, people are waiting outside for 3 days, 4 days. You guys were waiting out there for a long time. Front row Joes are waiting out. I don't know how you guys do it. And I feel I have an obligation to speak and speak in a certain way and speak a little bit longer. How would you like it? A guy's waiting with his family for 3.5, 4 days. They have a tent, and the tent is set up. They have hundreds of them, and they wait. And then I walk in, speak for 15 minutes, and leave. I don't know, somehow. Would that be okay, North Carolina? I don't think so, right? They want me to speak all day. When I leave, I did one 2 hours and 15 minutes, and I'm leaving, and they're screaming, "No, sir, more. We want to hear more." I said, I can't speak more. What the hell else am I going to say? Our country's going to hell. That's all I can say. We're a nation in decline. We were talking about that before. My phrases are copied so much, right? I use the term oftentimes in closing, we are a nation in decline. We are a failed nation. And I think it's a beautiful phrase, although I don't like the topic very much. I don't like what it represents, but there's a certain beauty. All of a sudden, all of these candidates, including Republicans, are saying we are a nation in decline. We are a failing nation. And I say, what the hell do they have to copy me for, right? But they have a lot of words that they copy. Many of our words, we were in the plane before coming in, and our people said, we went through a list. I think we're going to release a list. Let's release it. But so many of our phrases they copy. That should be a nice thing, not an insult. But crazy Bernie Sanders has said a lot of things, and one of the things he's arguing about is who's more liberal. And after about 2 minutes, he gave up. He said, this woman is nuts. Look, people say, be nice. Have you heard her laugh? That is the laugh of a crazy person. That is the laugh of a crazy. It's the laugh of a lunatic. Have you heard it? They prohibited her. They prohibited her for laughing. I've been waiting for her to laugh, because as soon as she laughs, the election's over. But we're winning by a lot in Pennsylvania. I think the fracking got her. The fracking got her. But she has been prohibited from laughing. You know, she used to do an interview. She, who the hell laughs at an interview like that? You know, I'm interviewed all the time. I may smile. I mean, they're asking you questions about things that it's not really it's not like a comedy club. And she'd break out. That's one of the reasons she refuses to do interviews, I think, because she laughs. It's so horrible. No, it's so horrible. But, you know, she hasn't done an interview like in 30 days or something like that. And I do one every day. If I pass, I just did one backstage. I just did one backstage with a very good reporter. But you're supposed to, don't you sort of have an obligation? You know, you're running. They're going to try, this is her form of the basement. Now, the basement for him was good because, you know, they had COVID. They didn't want him to catch COVID. He ended up catching it anyway. But, you know, it's a very dishonest, the whole system is very dishonest. But she should be at least talking to the press. She hasn't done anything. But she's prohibited from laughing. They said, your laugh is horrible. Never laugh, ever. So she's walking around with her mouth like almost sealed shut. She won't laugh. I want her to laugh. And then we'll just claim victory. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to thank you very much. But we have a little video that we just put up. Would you like to see it? Go ahead, just look.
Yeah, I am radical. We need to get radical about what we are doing and take it seriously.
As President of the United States, I am prepared to get rid of the filibuster to pass a Green New Deal. There's no question I'm in favor of banning fracking.
We have to have a buyback program, and I support a mandatory buyback program.
I believe it will totally eliminate private insurance.
Let's eliminate all of that.
But would you support changing the dietary guidelines?
Yes.
You know, the food pyramid, but people
Yes. Yes.
to reduce red meat specifically.
Yes, I would.
Raise your hand if your government plan would provide coverage for undocumented immigrants.
Where do you stand on defund the police?
This whole movement is about rightly saying we need to take a look at these budgets.
Harris asserted that ICE is perceived as the modern-day Ku Klux Klan.
Are you aware that there's a perception?
I see no.
Are you aware that there's a perception?
That puts ICE in the same category as the KKK. Is that what you're asking me? I see no parallel.
I'm not finished.
I see none.
And yeah, I am radical. We need to get radical about what we are doing.
Now, over the years, and right up until the present, she wanted to openly defund the police. How do you like that? In Minnesota, when they were burning down the state, and in particular, Minneapolis, they were burning it down. Remember the CNN fake reporter? He got up, the one with the nice shaved head. He got up. This is a peaceful rally. This is a rally of love. Behind him, the entire city was burning. It looked like World War II, right? And by the way, speaking of World War II, she will bring us into World War III, and it'll be a war. That'll be a war like never before because of the weaponry. No more army tanks going back and forth shooting. We've left a lot of our, you know, I rebuilt the entire military, and we left a lot of that in a place called Afghanistan. You know, that billions and billions of dollars we left it. In the most embarrassing moment in the history of our country, we left billions of dollars, 13 great soldiers killed, think of it, left many hostages, many people have been left behind. But think of what happened there. We got out in disgrace. We should have gotten out with strength. I was getting out. We would have been out even sooner, but strength, dignity. We would have kept Bagram, the big air base. You know who occupies Bagram right now? China, because it was 1 hour away from where China makes its nuclear weapons, not because of Afghanistan, but because of China. But China occupies it right now. Thank you very much, President Xi. Enjoy our billions of dollars of construction that took place years ago. They spent billions of dollars many years ago. 1 hour away, think of that, where they make their nuclear weapons. It's so embarrassing, the stupidity of the people that have run our country, but we did things the opposite way. We were very smart. We were very respected. We were a respected country. They respected your leader, your elected leader. But remember this, Viktor Orban of Hungary, Prime Minister of Hungary, they asked him pretty recently, they said, what's going on? The world is coming to an end. He said, if you want to stop it, re-elect the United States, re-elect Donald Trump, because when he was there, we didn't have any problems. We didn't have problems. Russia wouldn't have happened with Ukraine. Israel would have never been attacked on October 7th, never. You know, Iran was broke. Iran was broke. They had no money. I told China, you buy oil from them, you can't deal with us. I told that to many countries, anybody that dealt there, so they didn't buy oil. Oil's the whole thing, the big deal. And they were broke. Now they have $300 billion. Think of it. They have $300 billion now. They have plenty of money. We're run by stupid people, and we have to change it. We're not going to have a country left. We're not going to have... We didn't let countries take advantage of us. France was going to charge our corporations tremendous amounts of money for doing business in France. You know this, David. David is very familiar with what happened. And I went to my people, I said, tell them we're not going to put up with it. They're not going to charge our companies because we want our companies to do well so they can employ people. It's sort of simple. I didn't even like a lot of the companies that they were dealing with. I should have said, oh, great, let them charge. What the hell do I care? But they're American companies. And I said to Emmanuel Macron, I said, call him, because my people failed to make a deal. I said, you make a deal, you have 1 week, come see me. At the end of a week, they came to see me. Good people, smart people, very smart people. Secretary of Treasury, smart guy, Mnuchin, others. They came back to see me. Sir, we're not able to make a deal. They're going to charge our companies a tax. I said, no, they're not going to do it. You don't understand. They're not going to do it. Come back and see me. You have 1 more day. They came back. Sir, they won't do it. They've already passed it in their so-called legislature. We're not going to do it. They're not going to be able to stop it, sir. I said, we'll stop it. Get Emmanuel Macron on the phone. I got him on the phone. Emmanuel, how are you? So nice to talk. Oh, Donald, it is so nice to speak to you. It's beautiful. I wish I had his accent. I would have been president 20 years ago. But I said, Emmanuel, I understand you're charging our companies a lot of money. Oh, well, you know, this has been in the works for many years, Donald. And yes, it is done. It is really done. There's nothing we can do about it. I said, okay, good. Emmanuel, here's the story. If you don't get rid of that tax within 24 hours, starting on Monday morning, it was a Friday, I'm going to charge every bottle of wine and champagne that you send into our country. I'm going to charge you a tariff of 100% on every bottle. And you will not be sending too many bottles of champagne and wine. And he said, Donald, that is not fair. That is not fair. I said, no, it's not fair for you to be charging American companies to do business in your country. No, it's not fair, Emmanuel. Emmanuel, get back to me in 5 minutes and let me know. He called me back in 2 minutes. He said, Donald, we have decided that we will not be charging you any taxes for the American company. No reason. I did so many of them. I did so many. I could stand up here all day and tell you different stories. I just used the telephone. I could stop the war with a telephone. I could stop what's happening in the Middle East with a couple of telephone calls properly played. Horrible. Horrible, horrible, horrible. We have people that are, they're babies. In many ways, I guess they're stupid, you know. People say, please don't use bad language. Please don't call people stupid. They're stupid people. How else do you describe it? I want to use a different word, a more sophisticated word than stupid. But there's no word, it's a perfect word. They're stupid people. I think they're also, by the way, if I might, they're also corrupt. They really are. They're corrupt. They get a lot of money from a lot of people. We're not going to let this socialist lunatic, and she's a socialist lunatic, that's the other thing. Please, sir, please don't call her a lunatic. I said, but that's what she is. She's a lunatic. She's a lunatic. She's going to destroy our country. And she's going to break our economy even more than it's broken. We have a broken economy. Our supply chain is gone. You know, you order something now. I don't know how many of you are in business, or even if you're ordering as a personal order, the order doesn't come. The supply chain is broken. Who ever thought of it? We never even talked about supply chain. Supply chain just worked. And because of what they've done, they've broken our supply chain. On election day, we're going to tell her that we've had enough. We said, Kamala, you are a horrible vice president. You're going to be a horrible president. We're not going to take it anymore. Kamala, you're fired. Get out of there. You're fired. Not going to take it anymore, Kamala. We're not going to take it anymore. We have a country to save. And how about the fake news? Oh, look at them all back there. Look at all those cameras. Look at all those cameras. Wow. Look at all those cameras, all those fake writers. Look at them. I mean, Time Magazine, think of this. Time Magazine doesn't have a picture of her. They have this unbelievable artist drawing her. And I said, is that Sophia Loren? I couldn't. Who might that be? Is that Elizabeth Taylor? They say she was a beautiful woman. Who is it? It's so beautiful. Drawing. It's a drawing. They took a lot of pictures. It didn't work out, so they hired a sketch artist. I said, I'm sure, oh, they must be celebrating the great life and times of the magnificently beautiful Sophia Loren. And you're not allowed to say this anymore. You know, David, don't ever get caught in this trap, David, please. Don't ever call a woman beautiful, because that'll be the end of your political career. Please. I want to make your life much easier, David. By the way, he's also got a great wife, I have to say. He's got a great wife. But, you know,